This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. All right, I want to go into a lesson based on this precept, amongst others, but the word in particular concerning pilgrims. All right, because the scriptures talk about be as pilgrims upon the earth. All right, and I got the etymology of pilgrims. It says circa 1200, pilgrim, and it says a person traveling to a holy place as a penance or to discharge some vow or religious obligation or seeking some miracle or spiritual benefit. Also a traveler, generally a wayfarer, from Old French, pèlerin, peregrine, pilgrim, crusader, foreigner, stranger. All right, now the point that I want to touch concerning this etymology is a person traveling to a holy place. All right, the scriptures talk about us not receiving the inheritance yet. This is not the rest that the Lord promised us as a nation of people. We haven't entered into that yet. All right, and we're traveling through this place. All right, and Babylon the Great, which is America, is literally a pit stop on our way to the kingdom. You know, but 2/3 of our people are trying to have rest in a place that was literally built for us to be restless. All right, let's go here. Before I jump back into that, this is, I want to say is Deuteronomy 12. Yep. Deuteronomy 12 and 9. It says, for ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you. All right. And that shows you that Babylon the Great, which is America, is not our rest. This is why the average Negro, Latino, and Native American is suffering under the burden of the curses. You know, we were talking about this on the highways and hedges, that you don't judge the quality of your people by the exceptions, like a LeBron James or a Jay-Z or a Lil Wayne. You don't look at those guys who have a certain level of financial success, all right, as the judgment of how well your nation is doing as a whole. You judge the quality of your people by the life of the average member of your society. And the average Negro, Latino, and Native American is obviously not in their rest. All right. And the Lord did that so that we would understand that this is not our rest. But our people are so desperate. You know, as the scriptures say, they're looking for a rest in all the wrong places, roughly paraphrasing. All right. It's Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. The shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All right. And our people have forgotten that. This is why they search in vain for rest and money. All right. For rest in building communities here. All right. For some kind of abundance or some kind of acknowledgement from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. None of that gives you true rest. This is why even the so-called successful of our people are also restless. And the Lord is making a very clear point through action and through judgment that this is not our rest. And that's why the scriptures say, be ye as pilgrims upon the earth. All right. Meaning we're traveling. All right. This is a journey. And our people are looking at this as if it's the final destination. This is not our final destination as a people. All right. Real quick, I want to get this word here. It says wayfarer. And when you go into that word wayfarer, it says traveler. All right. And that's what we're doing. We're traveling. The Lord brought us here to discipline us, but not for us to stay here forever. All right. This isn't supposed to be our final destination. And that's why when you go to Micah 2 and 10, all right, it says this, Micah 2 and 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. All right. And when you look at the state of our people and the mindset that our people have, you know, this place is the end all be all. You know, our people look at Babylon the Great, which is America, as if, you know, this is finally the rest that we've been waiting for. And that's because our people have a very shallow version of our history. You know, our people think that our history started with slavery. And when you think like that, where we are right now looks like the rest. It looks like a come up. But when you go deeper than slavery and you understand who we are as a nation of people, this is not acceptable. That's why the Lord said it's polluted. You're trying to build generational wealth on the blood and the atrocities that have been done to your people in a land that's so defiled and soaked with the blood of your people that the Lord's saying is polluted. It will destroy you. The more you try to sink your roots in and try to build and create some kind of generational wealth here, the more you destroy yourself, because you have to trim your ways to get along with these people in the society. At a certain tax bracket, you have to rub shoulders with some of the most evil, all right, and insincere people. And by trimming your ways, you slowly become those people. And this is why the Lord said, come out of her, my people. Now, when you deal with Micah 2:10, this is talking about spiritually. When you go into Revelation, the 18th chapter, that's talking about physically, because the elect are physically going to get delivered out of here. But it starts in the mind and the spirit. The elect have a mindset of understanding that all of this is temporary. That on this side, we're not even going to be able to take our bodies with us to the other side. Because the scriptures talk about in the twinkling of an eye, we shall be changed. So even the vessel that we live and have our breath in, it won't even pass on, let alone your job, any physical possessions you have. And that's the mindset of a pilgrim. When shit hits the fan, excuse my French, the elect are going to understand it and not necessarily be offended by it in a way that the rest of our people will be, because they've looked at this place as the end all be all. They looked at this place as the rest that they've waited for. And really all it was a pit stop, a dirty pit stop at that. And this is the beauty of where we are right now. That's the comfort of seeing prophecy in motion, because we understand that our salvation is nearer than we believe. And for the elect who have that mindset of being a pilgrim, we understand that when shit hit the fan, that's what we were anticipating. That's actually good news for us as a nation of people. Our people have basically made their bed in hell and they're satisfied with it. And that's why the Lord said, I will not suffer you to remain in Egypt again any longer, roughly paraphrasing. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15. And I want to jump to 10. It says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And how do we know that that's how the Lord is operating right now? Is through prophecy. That's why the Lord told us to watch, because prophecy shows us how close we are to getting out of here. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. We were never meant to stay here forever. We were never meant to be on the bottom forever. All of that was a disciplinary action, a chastening of our nation, not for our destruction, but for our correction. And now that it's time to go, our people are settled. You know, the scriptures talk about being settled on your lees. Our people are settled in Babylon the Great, looking at this place as the end all be all. You know, I had to spend last week, you know, taking care of a sick family member who's basically on his deathbed. You know, and our people, you know, they don't even look at death the way that they should. So they get hurt and they get offended. And it's because they have this mindset of this place being the end all be all. No, we passing through this place, man. And when you understand that, you don't look at nothing in this world the same way. All of this is temporary. We don't put no stock in this place. It doesn't mean that we're negligent. We just understand this world is going to pass away. The fashion of this world is going to pass away, because the Lord is no longer suffering us to be here anymore. And this is why prophecy is starting to move at such a rapid rate, because the Lord is about to free his people, beginning with the elect, who have that mindset and that gift of faith, and who understand that we're pilgrims here. We're passing through here. We're strangers. Matter of fact, I believe it was said in Hebrews, the 11th chapter. Yep. This is Hebrews 11 and 13. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Think about the magnitude of that statement. You know, our forefathers acknowledged that we were strangers on the earth. Meaning the Lord turned the planet into a prison for us, man. Everywhere we go, we're likened unto strangers because we have no continual rest. And that's what the Lord promised us as a nation of people, rest. True rest. None of this is true rest. All right, this is Hebrews 4:9. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it's not in Babylon the Great with the stigma of you being a slave, an ex-slave, or a descendant of slaves. You being looked down upon. If you do have enough funds to be in the suburbs, you're surrounded by people that hate you and look down upon you. That means we're strangers and pilgrims on the earth. There's no place you can go on the planet where there's not a proverb or a byword or a reproach for you as a nation of people. And that was meant so that we would return to the stronghold of hope and become prisoners of hope, that the Lord would free us from this condition. Because it's not just being freed and put into our own land. It's also the reproach that we suffer as a nation of people. That all these nations, as weird and as uncouth as they all look down upon us as a nation of people. Even though Jake is the center of innovation and really the heart of this, of keeping these societies going, Jake is the one that's looked down upon. There's no amount of money to change that. The Lord has to give us true rest. And that's what the Lord said in Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter. He was like, look, you haven't entered into that rest yet. I know you're tired, but you haven't entered into the rest yet. We mentioned this on the highways and hedges. It's like we taking a long journey, right? And then we get to a certain place where it's like it's a water hole right there. It's a nice little stream or a creek that you can drink from. They have a little bit of fish in the creek. But we haven't gotten to our destination. But where we are is such a comfortable little resting place, so to speak, that our people are just like, you know what? I don't even want to go to the final destination. I'm going to just stay right here. I got a little bit of water, a little bit of fish. I got a little tent. I'm satisfied with this. And then you have the elect, Lord willing, we be a part of that number, who are putting their bags on their back, standing up and trying to tap our people on the shoulder and say, look, it's time to go. And they looking up at you like, nah, I'm tired. I'm going to just stay here. And the reality is you can't stay here. All the comforts that you know are about to be taken away, whether our people believe that or not. And this is why the scripture is going back to the point in 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter. It says, be ye as pilgrims upon the earth, man. All right. This is 2nd Esdras 16:40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, as one that will lose. And he that occupieth merchandise, as he that hath no profit by it. And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall not get no children. And they that marry not, as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. Because it's all going to be destroyed. Which means it's all vain. And it doesn't mean you become negligent. You just understand overall that this is not our rest. This isn't where the Lord desires us to set our roots at. So anything you accomplish on this side is going to be burnt up. It's going to melt with fervent heat. And that's why it starts with a mindset. So when these things are taken away, you understand the process. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. Shalom.